Alfie is a WOR race winner.
Jensen makes it 5 in a row.
Danny Berejnay wins on debut.
Shinaka returns to winning ways in WOR.
Season 12 sees a new man. It's Shadow. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jensen is the new king of PlayStation.
From the back row of the grid, against all odds, Nicholas Longy wins the title.
Goes past the safety car.
What has gone on here?
Bourbon spin,
Stunning move from the Spaniard.
He's taken out Rambo. Here comes Longy.
we're going 4 wide down to turn 1.
Oh, he's taking him out.
The champion run was complete.
Tomek to the inside.
Shadow wins the Brazil. Absolutely sensational.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to WOR. We are here tonight for season number 13. It is round number 3 of the championship as we take in the Miami Grand Prix from, of course, the Miami International Autodrome. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking you to the stream, as always, on this Friday night. And joining me in the comment box, not Mr. Commenters this week. He's sunning himself in Paris, unfortunately. However, we've got a super reserve in turn, and of course it is Mr. Otaku Logan. Logan, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be in the Premier Division of PlayStation for World Online Racing once again. Of course, because I can't really do most Fridays, but I can definitely do this Friday. And it is great to be in sunny Miami, but I'm very disappointed at the lack of aesthetic here in the booth, where there's no vaporwave, no neon signs, just the WOR livery. But you know what? That's all right.
It is all right. It is all right. We're only seeing a black screen and me on the screen, so it's okay. There's no aesthetics here. Just a very pixelated camera at this stage as well. I will invest in a better camera as the season goes on, of course. And of course, in terms of the drivers' standings, we didn't have this up actually last week. I have literally done a bit of a botch job in terms of the drivers' standings to get it up on the screen. So if you can't read it, I apologise. It was a complete and utter botch job from me. Rowan, though, taking the win, of course, last time out in Bahrain. Kazizel finishing in second. Great final lap of the race if you do want to watch that back a little bit later on. Denzo picking up his first points of the season as well, finishing in third, the Chilean. But Rowan out on top by 4 points over Jensen there in second. Of course, he DNF last week. He was back to his old ways, to be honest, last week. Jensen Kaufleadus there in third, fresh from an EML Premier win in Bahrain on Wednesday. Kazizel there in fourth on 18 points. Arocca there in fifth on 23 points. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Rowan out in front on 31. Jensen and Kaufleadus on 27. Kazizel in fourth on 25, not on 18 points. And Arocca there in fifth on 23. Denzo in sixth on 15. Smalley in seventh on 14. Krypton in eighth on 14. Mitchie in ninth on 13. And Marcos there in 10th on 12 points, with Izza, Harry, Noah, Marley, Line, Violet top 15, Nahima, Blaze and Ference, the only other drivers to have scored so far this season. Nathan Clark, Rowan and Andrea filling out the top 21 drivers that I could fit, certainly, on my screen. And Logan, of course, coming into tonight, Rowan taking 4-point advantage coming in tonight. He's on 31 points. Jensen there in second, fell by the wayside last week in course in Bahrain. How do you think it's all going to pan out on the track tonight?
Well, Miami's a very brand new track to this game, because, of course, as we are just about to get readied up, by the way, it's a very new track to this game, so it's very new to everyone, not just these top-tier drivers here. I'm going to have to say this is also play for especially 5 drivers standing out amongst the rest, including Arocca and Miltos Karafulidis. Both I have seen in competition myself. They're very strong. against the current title drivers of Jensen and Kazizel. Of course, Jensen, our defending champion, he absolutely romped through last season, but he's got some competition. It's going to be one heck of a night here in Miami.
It is indeed. And speaking of Miami, I have got the right track map up. I thought I didn't there. 19 turns, 5.4 kilometers, and then 3.3 mile. 3 DRS zones, of course. One down the start finish straight, one down in towards turn 11, and one in towards turn 17. Of course, built around pretty much the little B roads that actually give the access to the Hard Rock Stadium, and that's where the track has been built around, of course, here in Miami. And with 19 turns comes plenty of opportunities to overtaking, and especially more so, I think, Logan, down in towards turn 11 and turn 17.
Yes, indeed, of course. Turn 17 down there, it's a long stretch, and there's going to be a lot of taking opportunities, as we have said. And I should mention I've actually not got the Miami track up. Oh, there it is. Of course, turn 14 and 15, probably the tightest and most absurd corner on the track. You're going to have to be careful there because a lot of penalties could be dished out there like confetti and candy. As we are underway here in qualifying, 18 minutes in the session, of course, not 3 sessions like the top divisions. It's just the console tiers have 18 minutes. Everyone's in the pits, of course, getting their setups ready. I'm not sure if there is a perfect setup here because, of course, they've only had this track in this game for not even 2 months.
Yeah, it has only been in the game for obviously 2 months, and that obviously come with the trials and tribulations, obviously, out on track. And we've seen plenty of them. I've streamed around to quite a few times. PSGL F2, more recently as well in SRC, and there was always a few spins, always a few crashes as well around this track. Hopefully not for this man here, though. VSR Jensen, the first man out on track. He had an absolute disaster last week in Bahrain. DNF'd right down at the bottom end of the field. He's currently there, of course, in the Ferrari, and he is second coming into the championship tonight in terms of Miami, in terms of round 3. How do you think he'll get on? Surely he's going to be aiming to try and bounce back from what has been, I've got to say, wretched luck within his leagues recently.
Yeah, it is not been the best look for him, but this is probably going to be a do or die race for his championship hopes tonight if he can get up there, stay up there, and defend against the rest of the competition. This could be his chance to get back in it, but it kind of looks in dire straits for him right now.
Yeah, definitely so. Kaufalidis there as well in 18th, right down at the bottom end of the grid at this moment in time. Obviously, he's still on an outlap. Kaufalidis, I believe, has just been promoted to the FBR main team as well. So congratulations to Kaufalidis. He was an academy driver, now as part of the main team. And that, I think, is a really, really good promotion there. Because Kaufalidis, I honestly think this guy could be F1 esports material. He is so much improved the last couple of weeks, as has this man here, though, in Pro Exhibition, of course, last season. And of course, it is Mr. VSR Jensen. Jensen on the rundown, of course, in towards turn number 1, taking around this 5.5-kilometer circuit here in Miami, as Jensen now reaches turn number 1, through the left-hander of turn number 2, and then through the right-hander again of turn number 3. Negotiating the curves very nice indeed. He can ride a lot of curb there without spinning the car, as he now comes in towards this very snaking S-section, coming to the end of the first sector, 4, 5, and then to the left-hander of turn number 6, and then to the little chicane of 7 and 8. Of course, this left-hander, and then the right-hander actually counts as a corner for turn number 8, and then all the way down the straight in towards turn 11, with 29.9 in the first sector. Not a bad first sector at all there from Jensen, as he rides on board, with him down in towards turn 11. Potential overtaking opportunity, and you can see why, because he's already carrying in excess of 208, 209 mile an hour into the braking zone of turn 11, and he completely locks up and goes wide slightly, corrects the car nicely though, coming through the right-handers there of 12 and 13, and then in towards my favourite section on the track, the chicane, through turn 14 and 15, through 16, and then into the left-hander of turn 16, and then of course in towards the left-hander again, turn 17 at the end of the straight. 1 or 2 flats in the middle section of the crowd, viewing over the park on the right-hand side, the Hard Rock Stadium to the left-hand side as you come down the straight as well, and Jensen is not looking too bad at all on this lap, I've got to say, as he now comes in towards the final couple of corners, in towards the Hard Rock Stadium section, through turn 17, through the left-hander of turn 18, and then through once again right-hander of turn 19, and Jensen to the line. That is a quick lap to start off the night. 27-1. Jensen might be back.
Oh, and Philip, who's coming round? I think that's Nat Clark. No, he is invalidated. So I should believe Frankie's invalidated as well. But of course, it's early days for those who have invalidated because we've only got 13 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this session, James.
Yeah, we have indeed. Apologies, by the way, if we did go offline slightly there. My OBS decided to nearly disconnect and then reconnect, which is not that great. But hopefully we are back, and hopefully we are back to glorious. It's because I'm streaming over Wi-Fi, and you should never stream over Wi-Fi for OBS. But still, Mitchie out on top, Carefully there in second, Asacom there in third. Asacom has been going very quick in leagues as well recently. Nam was on a lap, he's invalidated in the middle sector. Frankie, though, potential, I think, favourite coming into tonight. The Red Bull man, of course, formerly of Alfa Romeo. Oh, as I say that, he's just invalidated with a 29.8 in the first sector.
Again!
Through 7 and 8, he invalidated. That is unfortunate for Frankie. I was saying he could be a leading favourite. I think I've just commentators cursed him, haven't I?
I don't believe in commentators' curse. It's just pure bad luck and coincidence.
It is indeed. Mitchie the man on top, Carefully the second, Asacom there in third. Nahima was on a lap. Denzo, I think, has just backed off a lap as well. Nahima, though, 29.7. First sector. Jensen was a 29.9, remember?
Dang.
And he's already 2 tenths up, in fact, on his lap time in the first sector. So the Aston Martin on the run down in toward the left-hander of turn number 11, of course. We'll run a ball with him now as he comes through this section out on track. We'll just turn off the timing tower. He has got very low ERS, though, so he might actually back off this lap and come into the pit lane. He might have low fuel potentially as well as he now comes through the right-hander. 15 and 16, that is how you negotiate the chicane. Beautiful through 14 and 15, through 16, through 17, on the run down towards turn 17 and to 101.4 in the middle sector. Nahima is absolutely charging on this lap. He's around 6 tenths quicker nearer than Jensen, and I think he could be going quickest if he doesn't run out of fuel and run out of ERS right to the end of this lap, because he has looked absolutely unbelievable around this lap here in Miami. Round the final corner, on the run to the line goes Nahima. This is going to be potentially pole position for now, and it is. It's a 26.6. Puts it up there, and his second run on that sort of soft compound tyre as well. Mitchie there in second. Carefully just now in third. But Nahima, I thought he was on a good lap, and he damn well proved it.
Indeed he did. Of course, there's going to be a lot of time left for the others to catch up, but for now, he's perched up at the top, as I see a few others coming out on their lap. Kryptonite is one of them, of course, as he makes his approach down to turn 17, and it'll be turn 18 and 19, the two swerve corners after the hairpin. He makes his way through the two apexes there, and he will come as close as he can to the apex, and he will get onto 9th place. And I do believe that's the end of the first few runs. His teammate Ace is coming through the first sector right now. Sets a 29.984, just under 30 seconds there, making his way down towards turn 11. And then it will be turn 12, 13, 14, etc. Kind of like what Vietnam was supposed to be, Vietnam's turn 1. But of course, that didn't come to fruition, as he makes his way through the said section, and it'll be the chicane. And what have we seen?
I'm running ball with Rowan in the middle sector. It's a 101.6 in the middle sector. He's not as quick as Nahima, but he looked really good in the first sector. I've been running ball with this lap for a little while now, and he has looked quite quick as he comes through the final couple of corners. We'll pick back on board with Aksay there in 14th at the moment. He's still on the lap coming down in towards turn 17. Rowan, though, to the line, goes quickest, 26.5. So I knew he was on a good lap there, and it was proven in the final sector and the first sector. Middle sector was pretty much on par with Nahima, so not a bad first sector, not a bad first and final sector there for Rowan. Axel, though, to the line, he goes 4th as well, 26.8, a very good lap there from the Mercedes, but it's now Rowan, the championship leader, out on top. Nahima in second, Mitchie there in third. We're not even halfway through qualifying yet.
No, we're not, but, 30 seconds until halfway line. But yeah, Rowan proving why he is up at the top right now, as Mitchie, I've seen, is starting his second lap. He is coming through the end of the first sector as a 29.8, and that is an improvement by 88 thousandths of a second on his first run, as the DRS comes up, the flap counts open like letterbox. and something has just happened.
I was running but with Asicome, and he was 3.5 tenths up out of the first sector, and he's just invalidated coming through the chicane at 14 and 15. Picking him up with Mitchie now, though, the TF10 man, he's coming through the chicane of 14 and 15. The Williams, of course, looking quite strong. That is how you take the chicane right on the limit. Mitchie through the middle sector, 101.5, so he's actually up on Rowan's middle sector. And the TF10 man, I know he is very quick around this track as well. He has proven that, of course, in other leagues. But Rowan out on top, Naheem is second, Mitchie there in third. On the run down in towards turn 17, Haas there, I think, of Nam on an outlap. Go on.
He could get a 26.4 here, James.
Oh, he hits the wall! He hits the wall on the right-hand side, but I don't think it's actually going to knock him any confidence on the run to the line. Still, oh, and he's 5,000ths of a second off. Rowan out on top.
Awesome.
Mitchie's second. Harry in third. Harry's just gone third as well, the FER man. Axe there in fifth. Karafalidis has invalidated as well on his lap, as Jensen, I think, has also backed off his lap as well. And I don't think anybody's on a lap apart from a rocker, but he is 29.9 first sector, 2.5 tenths up.
Yeah, I think he hit the wall slightly, and I think it may have cost him a bit of time. So he is down in second by a 200th of a second. 1/200th of a second. Yes, I'm saying that. I don't care what you say. 500 of a second, 1/200th of a second. It is the same. Steph coming through the chicane, but I do believe he's invalidating his lap. I'm actually not sure who is on a lap. Araka's on a lap. Araka is in the only 8 points behind in the title race. 23 points to Rowan's 31 as he makes his way down towards turn 17. A bit of traffic surrounding him, but I don't think it will bother him too much. Going around the final corner pretty nicely. What is the time going to be when he gets to the finish line? It will be 6th fastest.
Yeah, not a bad lap actually from Morocco. He's ahead there of Axe, ahead of Fedi as well, who's just got 8th position in the Shazoo, in the Alpine, I should say, 14 Shazoo, of course. Nam is also on a lap. He's coming towards the final corners, and now the Tarry round through the final corner. I think that might have been Nathan Clark who was spun on a lap. Nam, though, absolutely obliterates the field on a lap. 26.2. Where did that come from? If he showed that on Wednesday in EML Premier, he would have been absolutely laughing. That's unreal.
Unbelievable scenes here at Miami. The top times have just been thrown out of the window and into a pool of blood. That was insane!
Where did that lap come from? I didn't even think he was actually on a good lap. And therefore, this is why you shouldn't trust the lead commentator here in WOR. You should go on board with every single lap you try and go on board with. Nam, though, out on top. 3 tenths pretty much clear of Rowan there in second, Mitchie there in third. That is an absolute insane lap. And do you know what? That's going to take a lot of beating.
I'm lost for words. I actually have no words left, James. I think I've lost my job here at this moment. I have no words left to describe. I have nothing left to deliver. I'm going on strike. No, just kidding. Of course not.
Definitely don't. We don't want industrial action and everything happening here in WOR. No wonder Aiden's in Paris. I think he's escaped from me for a week. Namad on top, Rowan there in second, Mitchie there in third. The Ferrari in the middle sector, who was backed off, I think it was Jensen, who was backed off in the middle sector. Steph on an outlap. Krypton 8,000 up out of the middle sector. He's through the final couple of corners now, through the right-hander of turn 17. On the run to the line, he's only 500 improved, so actually improves a position, but doesn't actually really improve in terms of his time. Only 500, if I say, in terms of that lap time. Rowan, though, in the first sector, 29.9. In the first sector, Rowan off the pace in the first sector compared to Nam. Not sure what Nam's first sector was like, but Rowan at the minute, coming through the middle sector, coming through the chicane of 14 and 15, and he rides too much curb, and that's knocked the confidence out of the car. And through the middle sector, yeah, he's down. He should just back off this lap, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a shame. I should mention Nam, DNF, 0 in the sprint, and DNF in the feature. That is his result, and he wants to bounce back right here, right now, and he's leaving everyone with everything to do. It's quite insane, and he's going out again. He's going to start his final lap now, soon. Yeah, and Rowan's backed off into the pit lane. I should mention his times, by the way. 29.678 in Sector 1, 31.705, and then 24.911 for a 26.2.
That is unreal.
Where did you get that from?
the first sector. 26.6, I think you mentioned in the first sector there. That's where he gained all that time. Pretty much 2 or 3 tenths of a second ahead of anyone that we have seen so far tonight running on board with laps. That is absolutely unreal. If he can obviously back that up, it's going to be so difficult around the track to actually back up a lap and obviously get another lap time in. If Nam can do that though, 26.2, Rowan, Mitchie, Frankie and Harry may as well, the rest of the field in fact, may as well just go home if he's setting that lap and he's setting that pace in the race as well.
Yeah, I should just mention, the difference between Nam and Rowan in the first sector is at least 2 tenths. At least 2 tenths. That's pretty much just the start of the difference. It is insane. And it's gonna leave everyone with everything to do. Warren needs to come out soon because, of course, and we actually have an incident. Denzo has stopped just before turn 16. He's back on. I think he may have damage. Yeah, he has damage. I do believe his end plate. Yeah, his left end plate has come off. Mitchie's on a lap. Actually, no, he's not. He's went into the pit lane, and he's going to have to get out there like the clappers because he's only got 2 minutes and 47 seconds left as I speak. The only driver I see on a lap is
Smalley.
I think Smalley was. Never mind, he's invalidated, so... Right, go home, no action.
Oh, dear, mate. Everyone's on outlaps now at this stage. Smalley's just invalidated through the first sector. Absolutely typical, again, when we go on board with the driver, and they invalidate coming through turn 6 and 7. Absolutely typical. Now out on top, though, Rowan in second, Mitchie there in third. Many drivers further down the field are potentially improving. Asicum down in 13th is immediately looking at my eye. Carafalidis as well, down in 12th. They are very, very quick drivers around here, and if they do not show that pace, Asicum and Carafalidis are going to be starting outside of the top 10, but watch out for them if they aren't, as Frankie, I think now, is the first man on a lap. So right on board with Frankie. We'll continue on the timing tower on the left-hand side as well, just in case we see any. Oh, Frankie catches the curve with the right-hander of turn number 3, and then in towards the end of the first sector here to the S section of 4, 5, and they come at you very quickly through the section, through the left-hander turn 6, and then through once again the left-hander turn 7. That's a bit wide from Frankie. Surely not going to be taking that track limit. 29.9 in the first sector. How is that valid? Yeah, he's backed off. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was him or the game. Well, I mean, he did go wide, but at least he admitted to going wide and then just slowed down out of fairness. Fair play to him. Jensen now coming through. Of course, the defending WOR PlayStation World Champion. Okay, maybe not world, but, you know, well, it is World Online Racing. As he comes through to turn 14 and 15, right over the curbs. No FPS changing needed. As makes it out of turn 16, as you see some of the drivers getting out the way, and they've got to get out of the way quick or they're going to lose out on getting another lap here as well. Should mention we're getting close to the end. Who is that in front? That was, I do believe, the Alpine of, was it Wouters? No, it wasn't Wouters. That's a Williams. Anyway, he comes through the line, and it will be a 1:26.447. He is only 1.5 tenths behind Nam, but Rowan still do his lap, and he is quicker in the first sector. Not as quick as Nam, but still very quick. Can he find some time where Nam couldn't in the last 2 sectors? Mitchie needs to get the line quickly, by the way. And now, turn 13, 14, and 15 coming up. He's made it over quite nicely. I cannot doubt that was pretty nice. But turn 16 now, and he's got to go like the clappers here. Time is up, and something has happened, James. What has happened?
I'm reacting to this middle sector, and to be honest, he's only about 1/100th of a second ahead of Jensen through that middle sector.
Oh dear.
And this is pretty much now on the limit for Rowan. Nam out on top, Jensen in second, Rowan in third. Mitchie, I believe, is on a lap as well, coming down the back straight. As Asicum now goes second. I did say he was quick around here. Rowan now goes second, though, and now there's a big fight on for second, it seems. Mitchie through the first sector's not doing too bad. Frankie as well through the first sector, trying to flick on board with somebody else coming toward the end of the lap. Nahima is on a lap. I know he's quite quick around here as well in the Aston Martin. Through the middle sector, 101.5. He's 700s up, or 700s down, I should say, in the middle sector. But he is setting a consistent lap. Nam out on top, Rowan in second, Asa coming third, Jensen fourth. If you see any laps, by the way, just shout at me as we run above Nahima in toward the left-hander of turn 17, and Nam is through that middle sector, I believe, but Nahima on the run toward the line. Don't think he's going to improve actually on this lap. Oh, he does. He goes fifth. Spent a lot of time in that final sector. Jensen retires. Nam is invalidated on his lap. Frankie is done. Mitchie as well, coming through the final couple of corners. What's a TF10 man on as he now runs toward the line? Through the left-hander of 18, through the right-hander of 19. Might go second with this lap, you know. Just falls shy, and he actually stays in 7th in the end. Mitchie down in 7th. Frankie's backed off, and that is the end of qualifying. We'll run you through the full grid order in just a second when it pops back up. Frankie there, obviously, finishing in 8th position in qualifying as we run you through the full grid order now. And there's Nam out on top. That 26.2, all the beating in the end. Rowan there in second, Asacom there in third, Jensen in fourth. I think your reaction might be 1400ths of a second, separating second down to fourth there, which is really strong stuff. Nahima there in fifth, Axe in sixth, Mitchie seventh, Frankie in 8th, Harry there in 9th, Arocka rounding off the top 10, then Wouters in 11th, Freddy in 12th, Cow for leaders down in 13th, didn't actually get another lap time on the board, Steph in 14th, Krypton in 15th, Smalley 16th, Nathan Clark 17th, Dan Screen and Denzo didn't set valid lap times either out on track. Now out on top though, Rowan in second, Asacom in third. We're going to take a short intermission break and hear from our sponsors Grid Finder. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. As we are back live, and welcome back everyone to WOR. And the reaction, I think, off stream was Nam's lap, a 26.2, Logan. I've never seen, I don't think, a lap as quick as that around 2 in Miami. Nam might just take the world of beating here in this race.
Yeah, but the race can change everything. Of course, qualifying was just the start. We have 28 laps, I believe? 29 laps?
29.
I don't remember. 29 laps, thank you. I haven't done Miami much, as you can tell. Last time I was at Miami, the safety car glitched the race. That was PSGL F9. Don't go looking for it because, unfortunately, it's not on YouTube at all. But let's hope that doesn't happen. No formation lap, I believe?
No formation lap, so yeah, we better get going. It's in WOR for season 3, season 13, even round number 3 of the championship. And the 5 red lights are coming out here in Miami. It is round 3 of the championship, and it is lights out, and away we go. And Nam gets a very good start. Rowan as well, I think, got a better start, so he might be challenging down in towards turn number 1, and he is. The Red Bull on the inside line, down in towards turn number 1, breaks a little bit early. Bit of contact further down the field. There's been a bit of killing further down the field, and Mitchie, who has been spun by Harry, I think, caught up in an instant further down the field. Nam though leads the way. Rowan there in second, Asacom there in third. Nahima's defending off Jensen as well, and towards the S section through the first time, and Jensen goes all the way around the outside on Nahima, doesn't get the move done. Axie and Carol for lead, Axie and Frankie, I should say. Carol for lead has gained a few positions as well off the start, but Nam leads the way. Rowan there in second, Asacom there in third. Everyone is on a set of hard compounded tyres, by the way, off the start, and now we run all the way down towards turn 11 with Frankie and Axie side by side, and Stefano Rocca changing positions as well further down the field. Nam leads the way though. Rowan in second, and Rowan looks quicker down the straight, potentially going to go for a move in towards turn 11. Certainly Frankie is going to go for a move on Axie down the inside. The Red Bull on the Mercedes trying to get the job done. Now around the outside of turn number 12, and I think he's got that one done around the outside of turn 12. Beautiful stuff by Frankie. He's doing his intersect. They now cascade in towards the chicane for the first time. Nam leads the way. Rowan in second, Asacom in third. Pretty uneventful start around the front end of the field. The back end of the field, though, carnage between Harry and Mitchie.
Toss and Steph, they have been absolute stars at the start. They've both went up 5 positions. Also going up 5 positions are Naf Clark and Denzo trying to make it 6 now. He tries to go around the outside of Kryptonite, and he tries to get around, but no, he's hit Kryptonite, and Kryptonite has had a spin. Kryptonite has had a spin, but he's got it back together. He keeps it together and goes back on the track, but in 16th place, not where he wants to be. Nav Clark has also went up 6 positions now. Miltos and Steph, by the way, right next to each other. Miltos has Steph right all over the behind as they make their way into turn number 4 and turn number 5 as well. Up ahead, of course, Ace and Frankie. Frankie had a decent start. It went up 2 positions. Not a good start for Jensen, going down 1, and the top 3 remain the same, and they're the only drivers to remain the same apart from Oroka in 10th.
Yeah, they do indeed. Absolute carnage coming through the final couple of corners there as well. Steph now on the back of Carafalidis though. The Alpine against the McLaren on the inside line. Alpine on the outside line. The battle of the late breakers, and Carafalidis has gone straight into Axe. Absolutely unbelievable. Carafalidis straight into the back. He absolutely butchered his braking point there. There's a virtual safety car, which is not a surprise as well. Carafalidis, I'm not sure, there must have been a brake pedal or something getting stuck on, because that was not intentional whatsoever. Axe, they're down in 16th, has not got damage, luckily, as a result. He might have a bit of side pod or rear wing damage, but Carafalidis has just absolutely butchered his braking point. He's got no front wing to prove that as well. I've never seen anything like that down in towards turn 11.
Neither have I, and it is a safety car, and my goodness me, Carafalidis nearly went in the back, and the virtual safety car has ended, and in conjunction, DRS enabled as Namsco crosses the line. Carafalidis finally comes to the pit lane with a bit graphic this, a broken nose, and Asi is fuming, absolutely fuming. He's lost 9 positions as a result now, and he'll be wanting to get back up with his aggression. And his first opponent will be his teammate, Kryptonite, who's trying to get past Harry, who seems to be, well, it seemed to be a bit glitchy there, and he's letting the two Mercedes through. I don't know what's going on with Harry. I think he's got a problem.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of desync potentially on his end. Rowan, by the way, run on the back of Nam in towards turn 11. The Red Bull against the Haas. The Red Bull not going to get the job done down in towards turn number 11. Nam there, though, leading the way. Rowan in second. Asicum there currently in third. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, and that is Dan Spreen on a set of soft compounded tyres. That is round out of turn number 1, 2 and 3. For Dan Spreen round, that is what happens when you have a cold set of soft compounded tyres on the car. Asicum, though, now challenging Rowan for second and third position. 4.5 tenths the gap pretty much between first and second. Same gap between second and third as well. And Asicum now, I think, looks potentially the quicker out of the front 3, with Nahima and Jensen obviously just trying to latch back onto this little train that's developing at the front end of the field, as Denzo gets the job done on Nathan Clark, who, by the way, got an absolute world-class move around the outside of Wouters a little bit earlier on in the race, and that was, I think it was on lap 1, if I'm not mistaken, around the outside, as Carafalidis have retired out of the race. That's through the chicane, and that might be a safety car. It is a VSC again. So another virtual safety car, and it might go to full safety car potentially soon. If not, though, we'll watch on board. There's Dan Spreen. There's Carafalidis. Or if Carafalidis' car was there, it was on the left-hand side of the track, I think. And unfortunately, he has now left the session, and therefore, he is out of the race, down in 19th. Such a shame. I think he promised quite a lot in qualifying. He qualified, I think, in 13th in the end. And now, unfortunately, it's fell by the wayside. But there's a VSC out on track once again.
Yes, and that's one of the early contenders out. He been on 27 points. The first time he's failed to score. He was in third and in fourth, and didn't score in the sprint race, actually. So this is the first time he has failed to score in a full distance, well, a 50% Grand Prix distance race. So we're down to 18 here in Miami as the safety car, or I should say, is it still virtual? Let me just see it. I don't know why this game does not show that it's a virtual safety car or safety car. Oh, and Denzel's got a drive for penalty for speeding under the safety car. And there's already battling happening between Mitchie and Naf Clark. Oh my word, Naf Clark nearly getting rammed into the wall by Mitchie there, who's trying to recover for his losses as they make their way down to turn back. I think a lot of drivers have got penalties. Yeah, Kryptonite and both Mercedes have a drive-through penalty.
Nathan trying to hang it around the outside through turn 17. Do you know what? He's going to get the job done as Mitchie's all out of shape going out of 17. But look at the speed that Mitchie's got out of turn down in towards turn number 1. He's on the outside on. There's another yellow flag out on track. And I think the Mercedes have actually come together. And speaking of it coming together, Nathan Clark held it down the inside line. And unfortunately for Mitchie, he gets sent spinning, and Denzel now is in the pit lane as well, serving that drive-through, which is not shown on my screen. All drive-throughs, by the way, have now been shown, so that is why, now gone, so that is why they are not being shown out on track. And Denzel, unfortunately, has just cut the white line coming out the pit lane as well. I saw that on stream, so the stewards may give a penalty. I can understand, though, he is quite frustrated. Same with Krypton, same with Fetty. Sorry, with Axay as well, who obviously picked up a drive-through penalty. And speaking of which, as Dan's green round again, yeah, coming through turn, that is turn 17, 18. Yeah, and I think, yeah, he's coming in the pit lane, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does retire at the race. Roman, though, still on the back of Nam for the lead of the race.
And he does retire from the race, but yes, the leading pack still... Oh, and Naf Clark gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not what you want, especially at a track like Miami, as Rowan will have a shot at fighting with Namsko as he goes down at turn 17, but he can't seem to get a move justified. He'll come out of turn 19 with some DRS again. I don't think he'll have enough room to make a move as they head down, and they're going to pass a retiring Dan Spreen. And what is going on, James?
Mitchie and Nathan Clark are having a right ding-dong through 17, 18 and 19 once again. Oh, and Mitchie turns into Nathan Clark. Mitchie turned into Nathan Clark. Nathan Clark in the wall. Full safety car. I'm not surprised at all. It's a full safety car. What on earth Mitchie... Yeah, what on earth Mitchie was doing there is unacceptable. And I'm sure stewards are going to be coming down hard upon him there, because that was absolutely ridiculous.
I'm no steward, but if I were me, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a race ban at least. And Ace has retired from the session after a dismal start, after getting a drive-through. But Kryptonite's still alive and kicking. What has this race become?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think honestly, if drivers are watching the stream, come on, driving standards, pick them up. Otherwise, you're going to be ending up in the steward's room. It's as simple as that. Now I'm leading the way, though. Roman and Sekadasa come in third. Pit stops, though, happening further down the field. I think Smalley has just came into the pit lane for a set of hard compound tyres. And as you say, Axay there retiring in the pit box for the Mercedes. In fact, I thought it was stuck in the pit lane for a second there, which would have been a little bit hilarious if he was, but it's not. It's now out on top. Roman and Sekadasa come there in third. Safety car now bringing an end to what has been a crazy first 6 laps of the race. It is unfortunate, obviously, what has happened there with Nathan Clark. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one. Nathan as well, to back on to what happened there. He got much better exit coming out of turn 17 and 18 through 19. Should have got the job done. Probably would have been about a 10th and a half, 2 tenths clear down in towards turn number 1. Unfortunate. No call for it. Absolutely no call for it. These guys are top tier, and you're supposed to be acting like top tier.
I mean, yeah, you're going to get scrappy duels in the lower leagues, but in the top division, that's just, no. That's just verboten. You can't do that. You've got to keep it clean. These stewards expect the greatest amount of sportsmanship from the drivers than any other level. And if you're not going to comply, then you will face the consequences. I'm sorry to be passionate and angry, but I've always believed in sportsmanship in sport. And if you're not going to have any of it, what's the point of being in sport?
Yep, respect each other. If you are not respected, you won't be respected back. That's what I like to live my life off, certainly. Jensen, however, set of soft compounded tyre for Jensen.
Weird.
10th position currently. He got held up in the pit lane, I think, as well, and he had a front wing change as well, which I didn't see him having any damage on the car.
Sorry, James. We've just got some spam in the chat.
Oh dear.
Nice.
Yeah, that's at least a new one. At least I'm used to the what is it? The .hd
I've had it
one.
before.
Yeah, the .hd one I'm used to trying to spam. Right, you are going, my friend. Hide user on this channel. Apologies, I have to do live moderation at the same time, as well as stream, as well as commentate. Still, that is why we're not getting paid. Namlo leads the way, Roman in second, Asacom there in third, Funky there in fourth. As I say, Jensen on that sort of soft compounded tyres got held up in the pit lane. I think he held. I
Bring
think
another
Mitch.
lap.
Yeah, we're gonna get another lap underneath the safety car. Jensen though had a front wing change. Now I'm not sure what contact he had. He might have had contact with the wall somewhere. He's down there in 10th position. Set us off compound tyres though. That is gonna bring him back into the race. As a rocker, yeah, I think disconnected and is back in the session.
By the way, sorry to go a bit off topic here. Is my mic? Oh, Nam's left the session. What's going on?
What is going on? I hope not. Is not what I think it is potentially in terms of glitches. I know a rocker is Nam's teammate, so obviously he might have joined back, and therefore the teammate leaves the session. That might be another glitch that we're potentially seeing. Just making it up as I go along there. But yeah, Nam at least is in front of the race. But as a rocker has joined back the session, hopefully Nam can do the same as well. And if Nam doesn't, every single driver is going to have to stick behind the AI car of Nam. And this is going to be one of the worst safety car restarts I think you'll ever see.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened with Nam. By the way, Naf Clark in the chat has said, I do not need to explain what just happened to me. And, do we have to? You saw it on screen, viewers. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Nam93 has rejoined the session. Thank goodness for that. So we are going to get underway without any glitches.
Is he?
So we make our way. Oh, go on.
Is he going to take control of his car before the safety car ends? That's another thing, because the safety car is going to end this lap. If he takes control, I hope he takes control now, because the safety car should come. The lights should go out very soon indeed. I think Branley's down the halfway down the straight. There we go, safety car in this lap. And Nam's AI immediately slows down into the back of the row. And he has taken control of his car, though. That is good. Yeah, he has taken control of his car, which is good. Nam, though, about to get us underway once again.
He slows down again, and that's just to build the field up. Oh my word, some of the drivers coming very close. Very tiptoey rounds the final corner. He gets round and get as much speed as possible. My goodness, look how close Rowan's getting to him. He's got to be careful not to get him too close. And he puts the throttle down, and here we go again. Lap 9 of 29 here at Miami. They make their way around the final corner to start. Lots of midfield battling here as we go. I think this is for third place, actually. Yes,
oh my
third place, Frankie and Asacom fighting for third. And there's a lot of fighting going on for fourth, and it was bound to happen. There's bound to be a crash there. As Harry has had a incident at turn number 1. And my word, this absolute all-out brawl for the mule positions.
Welcome to the wacky races, everyone. Jensen down the inside of Stefan towards turn number 7 as well. Should get the job done, has got the job done. Jensen has made eye-catching progress off the start, gaining 4 positions. Wouters, by the way, just did, I think, one of the best moves I think I've ever seen around Miami, and go right around the outside of both Steph and a rocker through turn number 1. That was absolutely insane. And now Nahima's trying to get on the act as well, diving it down the inside line in towards turn number 11. Lovely move by Nahima, and he is through and he's into 7th. And at least things have calmed down from, of course, the previous 5-6 laps or so that we had, of course, in racing terms. Namno leads the way, Rowan in 2nd, Frankie in 3rd, Asa in 4th. Watch out for Jensen, though. Soft compound tyres at this moment in time are going to be the quickest compound out on track. He's going to make light work of Wouters down the straight, potentially here as well. He is on the inside line. He might have to use up a better battery to try and get this move done. He should, though, I think, get it done on the brakes in terms of compound of tyre. And yeah, Jensen Walters down the inside line. Beautiful job, and he's through and he's into 5th as Harry once again, I think, has spun right down at the bottom end of the field. Yeah.
So yeah, and since the top 5, actually the 5 of the top 6.
Oh, Nahima down the inside line. Sorry to cut you off, Logan. Nahima down the inside line absolutely sent that on Wouters. And again, drivers need to learn their lessons. If there's space for a move, go for it. If there's not, don't even risk it. And now Nahima is going to go for space down the inside line through turn number 4, through turn number 5. Do you know what? Actually, turn a negative into a positive. That was a lovely move by Nahima. He's on a set of mediums and he's through and he's into 9th. That is how you bounce back from having a moment down in towards turn number 1.
And next will be a rocker, and he's already right behind him, and you can tell he's got more superior grip, and he's not even got DRS, and making his light work through, and going into 8th position. This is absolutely fantastic from the HEMA. I should mention, by the way, the top 7 on hard, apart from Jensen, obviously, they still have to pit. So Jensen needs to get up the order as quick as he can so that he can get the most out of these soft tires.
Yeah, he did get the move done on Asacom as well, down the straight in towards turn number 11. Asacom, I think, let him have that one, so Jensen through, and he's into 4th. Everything, dare I say, quieting down so far. DRS is not enabled, of course, this lap, but it is enabled, of course, next lap down and towards turn number 11, where it will be in the next DRS range. Namla leading the way as Welch is into the pit lane. Welch is into the pit lane, and this is for speeding, and I think he's going to retire the car. I have a feeling him and Steph were having a battle in towards the chicane. I have a feeling Steph might have accidentally tapped the back end of him, pushed him into the wall, and he did have right side end plate damage on the car. So yeah, Wout is unfortunately out of the race. Mitchie also retiring out of the race as well. 6 retirements, and we're only through 11 laps. I mean, come on, it's WOR. I know, come on, it's top tier. Drivers shouldn't be retiring. There are points available, of course, for the top 10 positions.
Yeah.
So disappointed as Jensen now sets his sight on Frankie. Frankie, who I said potentially has got a good race underneath him. Jensen, though, I think is going to make light work down the straight here in towards turn 11. Nam, Rowan currently a top 2, but Jensen now into P3, diving it down the inside line. Gets the job done. He is soon, he's into 3rd. Frankie there in 4th. Asacom in 5th, and Asacom is struggling to stick with 3rd and 4th.
Jensen now. Oh, he's cutting a gap down massively. He's already got it down from a second to 6.5 tenths. 6 tenths now. Look at all the speed he's getting out of the corners. As Rowan is probably quaking in his boots right now because his championship rival is right behind him. And Nam, who has nothing to his name so far, is right up there in front with 6 tenths of difference. Jensen is going to try and get all the oomph he can out of these DRS rates. He has just went under a minute and a half with that fastest lap. That is quite insane. And it shows he's now under half a second behind Rowan. This is all a play for now.
Under half a second, but what effect is this pace having on his tyres? At this moment in time, he has made ground on the back of Rowan, and I suspect he's going to get the move done in towards turn 11 once again. But just how much has he taken out of those tyres? I think potentially he's taken anywhere from around 15 to 20% of that tyre wear out of those set of soft compounded tyres at this stage. And if that is the case, Jensen is going to struggle to make the next 6 or 7 laps.
And that's the problem. That's the drawback of running soft tyres. If you use them too aggressively, they will wear out faster. And even if you are going a normal pace, my word, look how close he is! Right behind him! Even if you're using soft tyres at the regular, consistent pace, they will still wear out way faster than the other compounds. And the gap, I think the drip starting to show is already fallen back a bit with that corner. As look at this, we've got a 4, maybe 5-way fight for the lead of the race, and we're almost halfway through lap 13 now beginning here at Miami.
Yep, good job there by Denzo, by the way, to get the move on Smalley down in towards turn 17. Got the job there through, and he's into 10th position. Smalley there into 11, Krypton there into 12. Not sure, Mr. Aldert is back. I remember him, I think, from one of the PSGL streams during the week, and he is commenting his own name, which I really like, in the comment section. Welcome, Aldert. You are here, live and exclusive on the WOR channel. Now I'm leading the way, Rowan in 2nd, Jensen there in 3rd. Think you may have seen Rowan's mistake there, potentially, on the back of Nam. He lost around 0.2 of a second. Jensen now as well on the back. He centres fresh blood. He is having to save those tyres now. It's a bit like F1 Manager. If you've ever played F1 Manager in the last couple of days, Jensen is now having to save his tyres pretty much like you would do in a managerial phase out on track. And for me, this is now curtains in terms of his chance. Because look at Frankie. Frankie's back within DRS range. He's running the back of Jensen, and I think he's quicker than him.
You get that game. Anyway, right behind him he is now, Jensen. Oh, and he gets a
sideways
squiggle out of turn 16, and that's costing him a bit of time. What's it going to be like when he gets the flap open? Oh, he's not making much time because Rowan's got it in front of him. Oh, he's went aside a bit, Rowan. They head the same way as they were! Frankie, my word! They are so bunched up together, it's like four in the bed and the little one said roll over! Oh, it could roll over at any point if they don't keep it together. The gaps come down again. It's 3 temps between not just Nam and Rowan, but Jensen as well with Rowan. But you can tell that with Jensen and his soft tires, even though they're wearing out, he is showing some signs of improving. But now Frankie is getting closer. And oh dear, Jensen had a bit of a slide out of turn 4. And that means Frankie can capitalize and get right behind him. The gap is doubled between Rowan and Jensen, and this is not good news for the soft tire runner. Now Frankie's going to have an opportunity here at the DRS zone, heading down to turn 11.
Yeah, unfortunate for Frankie, he's still on the back of Jensen. Jensen, though, making mistakes. He was sideways out there of turn number 7 and 8, as we alluded to, of turn 6 and 7 even. And Jensen now, I think he's taking too much out of his tyres at this stage, and we're only halfway through. And remember, Nam, Rowan, Frankie, Asacom, I think he is relying to go on the same strategy as these guys on the second stint, and therefore he's going to have to try and defend all of these positions until then, especially Frankie and Asacom more immediately. Don't rule out Nahima, though. Nahima's in 6th. He is losing time down the straight. More of a cornering track, though, here in Miami. And Nahima, if he can gain on those mediums compared to those hards, he'll have around, I say, about 3 or 4 tenths advantage per lap at this stage. And if he can get a lot closer to Asacom, Frankie and Jensen, maybe before these pit stops happen, or as Rowan runs in towards turn 1, Steph is in as well. If Nahima can latch onto the back, I think he's got a chance potentially of picking up the podium. If not, he's going to struggle, and he is in a bit of no man's land at this stage.
Yes, he is, but he's just waiting there for everyone else to pit. He's pretty much a silent assassin at this point as these guys at the front duke it out for the lead. But nothing's really come to fruition as of yet. They've all stayed the same pretty much. And Jensen now has got to find something on those worn softs. I'm not sure if he can survive. But then again, he has saw Steph pit early for mediums. That could be the way to go here in Miami, but I kind of doubt it, to be fair, considering that he has already been on 8 laps of these soft tires, and they must be screaming for grip.
But the thing is, as well, with Jensen, he has got a VSR teammate, technically, ahead of him as well. He is in a Red Bull sandwich, but what does Rowan... Yeah, what does Rowan do, though? Is that Rowan actually does have a chance. Nam on the back, I think, made a mistake coming out the chicane, and now Rowan has got a chance, potentially, to get the move done. Is he going to call bluff first and go for the lead of the race and then pit in? No, he's going to wait in behind, and I think he's relying maybe on Nam as he makes a mistake in towards turn 17. Is he in the pit lane? No, Rowan comes in. Rowan into the pit lane. Jensen also in. So Jensen follows the same strategy call as his teammate in VSR. And that is not a bad call at all, but it's going to be mediums, as you say. Yeah, 14 laps on that set of medium compound tyres. They are going to make it, but they're going to struggle. Oh, as Rowan got held up there, I think, just coming out the pits, as Jensen's right on the back of him coming out.
Yes, he is, and they will come out, I believe, in 8th. Yes, 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th for Rowan, Jensen, Asacom and Aroka, respectively. I take that back. Steph is going to get past Aroka, so he will be down in 12th instead. But they're all on the same strategy now, and that has sent alarm bells to Nam and Frankie. They've got a pit soon, and I should mention, what a run by Jensen. Brave run, going on soft for that long. And he is now finding himself in the same situation as Rowan. It's all to play for now.
And it's the same strategy call, pretty much, that he did when he won the first race of the season, right from the back of the field. He made a very eye-catching call to go on, I think it was a set of soft compound tyres as well there, and he absolutely nailed it in terms of his final stint. Compared to everyone else that was on a set of hards, set of mediums, I should say, he was on. Set of hards, everyone else was on, and that's why Jensen was so quick. Now, though, I think he's technically called Nam and Frankie's bluff here, because Nam is going to come in the pit lane, one would imagine, this lap. Frankie the same as well, and Frankie very squirrely coming into the pit lane there. But Nam, oh, and he speeds in the pits!
Like a penalty!
Nam speeds into the pit lane. So unfortunate from the Haas man. That is going to add 5 seconds to time at the end of the race, of course, unless he tries to get that removed. I don't think he will, though. I think he was a couple of miles an hour over coming in the pits. But Nam into the pit lane. Not held up in the pit lane, which is good. Where is Rowan? Passing him down the straight. They're on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side now as we cut to the camera angle. Nam on the inside line. Coming through turn number 1. Is he going to be ahead of Rowan? No. Is he going to be ahead of Jensen? Yes, he is. But for how long? Because Jensen's got the pace and Jensen's got the switchback. Out of turn number 3, out of turn number 4. Nam just lets him go. Jensen through and he's into 7th.
My word, it's all game on now as Nahima takes the lead of the race, but again, he will have to, well, he doesn't have to pit, but I am very sure he will have to pit. I'm not sure those mediums are going to last 23 laps, and what has happened?
And I'll tell you something as well. Nam, 7.5 tenths behind Jensen. Yes, he's got pace. Jensen and Rowan, though, called Nam's bluff. And look what's happened. They're net 1 and 2. But Nam locks up. Nam locks up as well, and he's just lost 3 tenths per second. And Nam, honestly, is beginning to struggle on... he's on cold tyres at the minute, but look, he's nearly out of slipstream range. He's nearly out of DRS range. Pretty much 2,000 away from DRS range. He's out of DRS, I think. This time around, he is. Nam is out of DRS, and he's going to come under pressure from Asicom, of all people. At the back, he's too far back, though, Asicom. He's not going to come under pressure, and Nam did not have the DRS.
Fede has lost it at turn 17. On lap 17,
safety
quite
car.
ironically. And it's
Safety car.
No safety car?
Safety car, and I think... Oh, it's Krypton coming in the pit lane. I've got to say that. No, Nam is coming in. Nam is into the pit lane. This is for his 5-second penalty, I think, to be served up. But I think the Haas crew are actually out in the pit lane. He gets held up as well, Nam, by Krypton coming out the pits. And Nam is going to be pitted instead of actually saving up his 5-second penalty. No, I'm absolutely stupid. He is serving up his 5-second penalty, and he's now going on a different compounded tyre. I am absolutely stupid. You can ignore what I've just said there for the last 30 seconds. Nam out of the pit lane, set of softs, they're not getting to the end.
They are not, and Nam has probably butchered his own race. He's got very unlucky, I have to say, with that Fede safety car, but yeah, he was just not feeling comfortable. And Nahima, by the way, he's got quite unlucky too. He just passed the pit lane and the safety car came out. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. What do you do if you're Nahima in this situation? Answers on a postcard.
If I was him, I'd pit, and I know I'd be coming out potentially ahead of Steph underneath this safety car. And if he does get ahead of Steph, not all doom and gloom in terms of his chances. He's going to be potentially, I think, well, Smalley's going to pit in, Nahima's going to pit in, Denzel's going to pit in, and I would imagine these are going to be all for set of soft compounded tyres as Wouters has left the session because he's already out in the race as Wouters. Yeah, he's already out. Nahima into the pit lane. Denzel is in, Smalley is in, the top 3 are in. Rowan and Jensen continue on, and they're, of course, going to inherit now the lead of the race. But where is Nahima going to come out? This is the big question. Steph, for purposes, out of the final corner. Nahima out of the pit lane. This is going to be close on exit between them. And actually, Steph's in the pit, so actually, it doesn't really matter. Nahima is coming out in 5th position, and that is perfect.
Very nice from Nahima. The strategy has worked. A rocker has stayed out, though, and he's come out in front of Denzo. Smalley Balls in 8th, Kryptonite 9th, Steph coming out. Oh dear, he's had a massive slide out of the pit lane. You can tell his tyres are cold. He does get out in front of his teammate. Nam is pit again, by the way. He's pit again.
Mediums?
Mediums again. He's already used those mediums.
Why didn't he go on mediums in the first place?
Because he's only got one set. You only get one set of mediums in the game now.
Oh my... That's messed him up.
I know.
Completely. Absolutely messed him up. His race has now gone pretty much from hero and qualifying to 0, potentially in terms of points, potentially in terms of this race as well. Unfortunate for Nam. He's down in 12th position. Fede, by the way, how is this fair? Fede spun, brought out the safety car, and is pretty much ahead of him out on track. That's daft.
Yeah, I just got word from Jeffrey Ritchie. Hi, by the way, Jeffrey. He said blood. What's my man doing? Nam will go back to mediums, just removing pen. Yeah, removing pen. Not a penalty. A VSR 1-2 commentator, do you understand? Sorry.
Yeah, that's on one set of each.
I was saying one set of each. At least I remember one set of each. I'm not a fan of that rule, in all honesty. I think you should get like 2 sets of each tire. Well, actually 1 set of the hard, 2 sets of the medium, 3 sets of the soft, but apparently you don't.
I was thinking he was going to go on the same strategy as what it was on last year's game, because he could have went mediums on last year's game. Obviously he can't now, and that's why he's on that set of mediums, so I will take it back, obviously. But Nam there down in 12th. He's had his race ruined by that strategy, of course. He could have potentially got a set of soft compound size to the end of the race. Nahima, Denzel, Smalley, Steph, Fetty clearly feel, and Nam is actually back in the pit lane again. Again, for the 3rd time. Nam in the pit lane. Is this to retire the car in his pit box? Is what I'm thinking now. In the pits, set of softs go on, right at the back of the field.
I've lost it. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's trying to achieve. I hope it's not trying to extend the safety car, because if that's the case, that's a bit unsportsmanlike in my opinion.
He will catch a safety car anytime, anyways, this lap around, I would think. So it's not going to really work out in his favour. But yeah,
he's trying to do the. Sorry to joke around, but he's probably trying to take inspiration from Mr. Beast's McDonald's drive-through 1,000 times. But no, I am still utterly confused of why he's pit 4 times in a row, pretty much. I think there's 4. He pit once before the safety car, then he pit 3 times under the safety car. I am lost for words.
4 stops. 4 stops for Nam. And remember, this guy qualified in pole position as a rocket was spun underneath the safety car. What on earth has happened there? And the safety car is coming in this lap, so if Nam wanted to extend that by another lap, his teammate has just completely and utterly ruined it for him. Rowan now, the virtual Bert Marlander, he's now the virtual safety car. Oh, as I think that was a rocker right on the back of Harry, or Harry back on the back of Fetty, who got very close. Rowan, though, I think is going to try and go in toward the final couple of corners, because look at how much he's backing up the pack here compared to the first safety car restart. Rowan now, he should say go around about now, and he is just feathering the throttle, trying to make it go, maybe on the exit of turn 17, I'm thinking here, from the Red Bull man. Jensen there in second to come into VSR 1-2, and now Rowan says go on the exit of the final corner, on the run towards the line once again to start lap 21. It's Rowan that leads the way, Jensen in second. Frankie has left the session right on the restart, and Rocker and Harry have had a collision further down the field, and Frankie's losing all sorts of time. He has now had to rejoin the session as well. He's lost 4th position, and he's pretty much lost his potential podium chances. Rowan tries to escape the way. The championship leader against the championship second. Who would have thought of this in 29 laps ago time?
Yes, and should mention, by the way, keep an eye on Nahima on the softs. He's going to try and find a way past Asakoma as he come down the backstretch past the tennis court for the Miami Open. Look at him! Look at him! He's right on the back of the Asakoma already! He's going to try and send it! No, he's not! But so was Asakoma, but he doesn't get it. So it's no change coming into the end of the second sector and into the third. Up through the chicane, which has been ridiculed and criticised by many, to turn 16 now. Out through the highway. Down to turn 17, here we go. And what's Nahima got this time? Nothing. Lot of ERS, but I don't think he's going to get anything on Asacom. It's just
Freddy on
even
Krypton.
As Freddy on Krypton as he head into...
Oh no.
Pintaka, and he's just messed it up there.
Freddy's just contacted Krypton and escaped the scene there. If that was PSGL, there would be a penalty coming that way. Krypton is PSGL F2. Stuart, you've seen something? I think Asacom.
Nahima and Asacom. Nahima has made the move, a dive on the first corner on Asacom, and is now into third. And now Asacom is struggling because Denzel's right behind him. He's going to be very careful though, Denzel. He doesn't go right into the back of him like a certain McLaren driver earlier on in the race. Denzel now a quarter of a second behind. It will be all-out war as we head down the back stretch once again. And now, the top gap is 6 tenths. 7 tenths between Jensen and Nahima. And let's see what Denzel's got in attack with 2 tenths. Quarter of a second gap. Now, I don't think it's going to work out. And there's a battle between Frankie and Smaller Balls going round the outside, but no can do. And and Nam spun again. Nam's race has just gone to pot now. And Fetty's does also as well. Actually, no. Nam is still in the point, but it could have been way more. If he's going to get his first point, he wanted that victory. He was absolutely destroying qualifying times, but now is just lost in no man's land pretty much. As
Here comes Frankie.
Right, he's got it inside. My goodness me.
Oh my god.
He was really going for it.
Switch back
really
out of 17.
Switch
back out of 17, perhaps, though, from Frankie. Frankie goes to Hollywood, more like Frankie goes to Miami as he tries to get the move done on Smalley, down in towards turn number 1. Had that one coming from an absolute mile back. Rowan leads the way. Jensen in second. Nahima there in third. Asicom in fourth. Denzo in fifth. Smalley in sixth. Frankie in seventh. Steph, Krypton, Nam top 10. Fetty in 11th, I think, had a moment, and that's why as Smalley has actually let Frankie through. So Smalley, I'm not sure if he had made... Did he make a mistake, perhaps? Or has he picked up a little bit of damage? Or I'm not sure. But Frankie is through and he's into 6th. Yeah, weird one, but he's through anyways.
He's through, and now his next opponent will be, if he can get to him, Denzo. I think the Softs are trying to feel the heat now.
Smalley!
Look, it's side by side. No room left. And he goes for the move and back into 6th place.
Nice.
What a battle this is!
Well, no wonder he let him back through. He wanted that DRS to try and come back at him, and that's exactly what he had. He knows. Smalley knows, I think, is that Nam, I think, is round once again. At the back end of the field, he's having a fight with Fetty, an aggressive fight with the Shazoo Man as well. The Shazoo Man hangs on, and he's still in 10th position. Actually, he's up into that 10th position. As Rowan leads the way. Jensen there in second, Nahima there in third. Jensen is on the back of Rowan. But what does Jensen do? He surely, deep down, would go for this race win. These are 2 high-quality VSR drivers at the end of the day. I'd hate to see Rowan get this race win out on track and Jensen not at least try.
Oh dear, there's a collision between Nam and Fetty.
Yeah.
And Fetty's lost his front wing and he's still going. He's still going.
No.
That's not a good sign. I don't know what he is doing, but he should not be going on without a front wing. He's got no control. Actually, he's actually controlled that very well. Has he actually got a front wing? Is he just teasing us? He's got no front wing and is controlling it better than I ever would without a front wing. No, he's falling back now. He's definitely falling back now.
Yeah, falling back now, and Fetty unfortunately down in 11th position. And again,
the fastest lap.
Yeah, a bit of contact that could have been avoided there, and unfortunately, these drivers, more driving silence that you find in a 5-lap open lobby, and I'm just being absolutely straight up with it, because the driving standards tonight have been absolutely terrible. Get Aiden Carter back in this commentary box right now, because the racing last week was brilliant. You came in, Logan, and you've absolutely butchered everyone, I think, out on track. You are to blame for this treachery.
I'm sorry if I can only do Sunday nights on PSGL. It's not my fault.
It's fine. These
life.
On a serious note, though, these guys do have them through. Majority of them up the field. The Smalley's going to go for the move, I think, on Denzo down in towards turn 17. Oh, and he's gone too far deep, and he's down in towards the escape road nearly there. And Smalley's now side by side with Frankie, and Frankie...
goodness me.
Smalley nearly forced into the pit lane, and now Steph's going to try and get the run on both of them down in towards turn number 1. The McLaren and the Red Bull side by side down in towards turn number 1, and Smalley actually gets that move done. Brilliant stuff by Smalley in the end. Frankie does not want to fight that too aggressively, as Jensen on the back of Rowan.
Jensen is getting very close to Rowan now. It's now a 5-lap open lobby because there is 5 laps to go here at Miami. Yes, I am not kidding you. And, my word, Frankie's all the way behind Smalley. Nothing separating them. Fetty's not pit yet. Fetty's not pit and he's got no front wing. Is he mad? He's ahead of Nam. He's ahead of Nam and he's got no front wing. What is going on?
Nam's trying to have a battle with him, I think. And...
Oh, he's hit the wall.
Wait, what?
He's hit the wall. Nam's hit the wall on my end. And he's got no damage.
And he's losing a lot of time.
Oh dear, my word,
Baffling.
Frankie right behind Smalley Balls at the, I know that's a weird name, but right behind at the chicane as they head down to turn number 17 once again. This is over 1 kilometer long. I'm not sure the exact mileage, but it is a massively long corner.
Asacom on the back of Nahima trying to go all the way around the outside. Nam has retired out on track as well. Please don't be a safety car. It is a safety car. Rowan leads the way. Jensen in second. Nahima there in third. And that has ruined potentially what we could have seen there between Asacom and Nahima. As Frankie in. Steph, I think, is also in. And yeah, both of them are into the pit lane. Krypton also in. These are going to go set us off towards the end. Freddy has got no front wing. I wonder if we've seen the glitch with Nam having no front wing and Freddy has got a front wing potentially. Is Freddy now decides to come in the pit lane? Absolutely weird as anything. The stewards are probably going to be as baffled as we are in commentary into what's going on tonight. Because honestly,
yeah,
it's to use the George Morgan phrase, been absolutely diabolical.
It's absolutely diabolical. I did a better impression.
That did sound like him, to be honest, there.
No, I mean, I'm very good at my impressions.
Very good.
Absolute animal.
Rowan leads the way, though. We are only going to get, I believe, 2 laps underneath the safety car. Nam, a Rocker is coming side by side with Freddy coming out the pit lane. Freddy has now got a front wing, at least, which is really good. He needs one to get to the end of the race, I think. Nam, by the way, though, out of the race. Not sure what happened with Nam. He did crash, though, through the chicane.
Yeah, I think he's lost his mind. No offense. Jeffrey Ritchie says, "Nah, man, get out. What is that, bro?" He's livid at Nam, and to be honest, I would be too. They are all going to line up behind the safety car. What is Rowan and Jensen thinking here? They can't go on soft. Jensen can't go on soft. He's already used his set. Rowan, they're going to be feeling the heat. This is all a chance for Nahima.
Do you know what?
And Frankie as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Frankie there, 7th position, has got the box seat in terms of the action here, because he is going to be on maybe 25 to 30% fresher tyres at this stage of the race. That 25 to 30% extra is going to be absolutely crucial for Frankie and Steph. As Smalley is in sprint, and I think he realises that obviously he's on the wrong strategy. He wants to bail, come in the pit lane, and maybe extend the safety car another lap as well. It won't though, because it will only have a maximum of 2 laps to the end of this race. Rowan leads the way though. Jensen in second, Nahima there in third. Jeffrey saying that safety car should have never happened, but it's going to be an interesting last 2 laps. Yeah, it is going to be, I'll coin my phrase, welcome to the wacky races.
Yeah, and we've got Penelope Pussycat up front, and we've also got Dastardly and Muttley. No. I should mention, by the way, the same thing happened in Mexico PSGL F9, which I commentated, and go watch that. It was absolutely insane, and probably the most insane ending to any race I've ever commentated, no matter what level it is. So we're going to have a 2-lap shootout of racing all the way to the checkered flag to determine tonight's winner after what seems like an eternity of commenting around this entire Miami race. I mean, it's Miami, I get it, but it's not Miami Vice, is it?
No, it's not Miami Vice, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't want to watch that program, to be honest, either. And I don't think it really draws a comparison to what we've seen so far tonight. Rowan, though, leads the way. Jensen in second. Nahima there in third. Jack Rodriguez, by the way, in the chat saying Nahima's on softs. Maybe he can pull off something doubtful. And it's just because of how many laps he's done on that set of soft compound tyre. Yeah, safety car should be in this lap. It is indeed this lap, as soon as I say that. And now Rowan is the virtual Burt Malander once again. As we do get back to green flag racing, of course, these guys are still under the safety car, of course. But Rowan is now the virtual Burt Malander. He's now the virtual safety car in a very dark, damp, gloomy commentary box. As now I look outside to the left-hand side of me. We better get going for 2 laps worth of racing WOR. Hopefully these 2 laps will put a smile on your face and not put a bit of glumness on the stewards. as Rowan now decides when to up the pace, and he's upping the tempo, trying to get heat into the tyres. The Red Bull, with
Here
only
we go.
11 kilometres of this race left to go in Miami. Rowan leads the way out the final corner, and he still hasn't gone.
what is he
It's
doing?
very, very close indeed. Jensen are running side by side, and do you know what? I think they're trying to block Nahima in down in towards turn number 1, and that hasn't worked at all, because Nahima's down the inside line, in towards turn number 1 here on Jensen, tries to dab it down the inside. Ear contact, goodness me, and Nahima fights out of the grade, and Frankie's up to 4th already. Frankie goes to Miami indeed, and now he's in with a chance of potentially winning this. Rowan leads, Jensen second, Nahima in third, but I think it was a collision further down.
Kryptonite and Smalley Balls are falling right back. They have had some damage, I think. Yeah, Denzo and Atacome got into a battle, and as a result, Frankie capitalized, now up to 4th, and there he's right behind Nahima King on all the shots. Here we go, James. He's going for the gold.
He has to. I think, honestly, he might get third. He's on the back of Nahima. Nahima's on wearing soft. Frankie's on old softs as well. He tries to go all the way around the outside through turn 11. The Red Bull against the Aston Martin. Shooting the pressure compound's going to pull out, and he does. Frankie through, and he's into third. Nahima, how on earth he didn't end up in the wall, I do not know. Great overtake there by Frankie. Right around the outside. Nahima got all out of shape as well. Let Frankie through. And Frankie now... has he got 2 seconds pretty much of pace to catch Jensen and Rowan on this final lap? It is going to be absolutely tense as Asicum on the back of Denzo as well is going to be side by side and towards turn 17 here. Mediums against softs, and watch out for Stefan behind as well, because he's on the fresh softs as well. And Asicum goes straight into the back of Nahima. Nahima is round, Asicum is round. Asicum absolutely sent that down the inside. And that will now, I think, secure our podium positions. That is unfortunate. Again, didn't mean it like how Felidas early on in the race.
I don't like this is going to end.
2 by 2 into Noah's Ark. We go. Asicum retires in the pit lane.
This is chaos. This is chaos. There's a massive crash at turn 2. I think we should cut away from that and go to the top 3. Is Frankie going to get close at all? I think he's... Oh, Jensen makes a mistake. Jensen makes a mistake, and he's going to lose some time there. And we're now down to 11 drivers here, by the way. Asicome is retired, obviously. And now Uraka's got a penalty, and Kryptonite has spun around again. How close is Frankie to the rest? I don't think he's going to get it.
It's going to be VSR 1-2, I think, Logan, because Frankie there in third has not got the pace on that set of softs. If that safety car didn't come out, then potentially he would have. Smalley, by the way, going around the outside of Feddy. How is Feddy, by the way, with a broken front wing in 5th position? As Smalley now tries to go all the way around the outside of turn number 12. The McLaren on the inside for turn 13. He did, though, earlier on, obviously, with his broken front wing. Feddy there in 5th, Smalley in 6th. But Jensen now trying to attack Rowan. He was sideways out of turn 16. Frankie now closing in quite quick as well. Rowan under pressure from Jensen. Is it going to be a last lap lunge from Jensen? He might want to take this race win down into the final couple of corners. Frankie late on the brakes as well. It is going to be a Red Bull win, but not the Red Bull you're expecting. Rowan towards the line will take an absolute chaotic Miami Grand Prix. Jensen there in 2nd, Frankie in 3rd. I would like to see another lap of that because it was all getting going towards the end. Steph there in 4th, Feddy in the end, dropping down in terms of penalties. Smalley in the end is 5th. Great result from him. Nahima there in 6th, Freddy there in 7th, Harry there in 8th, Krypton there in 9th. We'll run through the rest of the grid order soon. Valkyrie saying torpedo. I think that is pretty much the word of the day in terms of this race here in Miami. The driver of the day award by in-game fans is Smalley, and the McLaren, I think, deserves it. He drove a very, very good race. Obviously kept out of trouble and kept himself there in 5th position at the end. But VSR 1-2, Jensen bouncing back to form. But this man here at the top step of the podium is Mr. VSR, Rowan, and Rowan, of course, extends his championship lead over Jensen, who are now clear 1-2 in the championship.
Yep, 9 points the gap now between Rowan and Jensen. Unless there are some stewards' inquiries, so it's 56 for Rowan and 45 for Jensen. Yeah, sorry, it's an 11-point gap. I do apologise. I thought the difference was 2. It's not. It is 4. Miltos, Kazizo did not show up today. Miltos did, but he didn't finish. Kazizo, of course, didn't show up. Araka, I do believe, got a point, so he will go up to 24, but will stay in... Actually, he won't stay in 5th place. Denzo, with his... No, he's just finished out the points as well. So there is the result. A couple penalties having to be dished out. Harry despite everything that happened to him, managed to finish in 8th place. It's going to be a fair result, I have to say. Kryptonite had to finish 9th from 15th. By the way, Steph from 14th finished 4th. Smalley Balls from 16th finished 5th. Kudos to them. Pretty awesome performance from them. Nam didn't finish. He got nothing after blazing qualifying. And it is a VSR 1-2, as you have said. By the way, Smalley did 4 stops to get from 16th to 5th. That's insane.
I just, a bit of aesthetics going on in terms of the top 3 as well. Double 2 is 4, double 4 is 8. And look where the 1st, 2nd and 3rd came from. 2nd, 4th and 8th. That is weird. Rowan, though, the only man to finish the race on a 1-stop strategy. Everyone else was 2 stops or above. But it is Rowan, of course, the VSL man, who takes the win out on track from Jensen there in 2nd, Frankie in 3rd. And do you know what? I think we got robbed there, to be honest. If we had another lap, I think Frankie would have potentially got them on that final lap. Steph there finishing in 4th, drove a very good race, I've got to say. Smalley there in 5th, Nahima there in 6th. Head needs to be held up high. Of course, he got absolutely butchered by Asicom in towards turn 17 on one of the final laps of the race. Freddy there in 7th with a front wing completely missing, and 4 stops in this race as well, finishing 7th. Smalley, by the way, also 4 stops, finishing in 5th. Harry there in 8th with the fastest lap of the race with the 28.2. Krypton there in 9th. Araka in 10th, of course. These are all provisional results. Denzo in 11th, the only other finisher, as Asicum, of course, retired on the final 2 laps of the race. Nam, Mitchie, Philip Whiters, Nathan Clark, Axel, Dan Spring, and Carol Felidis all out of the race at various stages. Not the best race on PlayStation, certainly not the best race here in WOR PS Tier 1, but Rowan takes the win, Jensen 2nd, Frankie there in 3rd, but really, I'm honestly disappointed in quite a few of these drivers because we got potentially robbed of a very good race just because of belligerent driving standards which need to improve.
James, no, James, that was so not right.
It's true, though.
Story of the day.
It's true, though. I'm not gonna beat around the bush and say this was the best race ever. It wasn't. It wasn't. You watch that back, and you will see our commentary, and that was not the best race that I've ever commentated on. It may go down as one of the worst I've ever commentated on in terms of the driving standards. So unfortunate, but at least the top 3, Rowan, Jensen and Frankie, gave it their all. They will be very pleased with their performances. They all kept it clean. And do you know what? They absolutely deserve 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
They do indeed. They do indeed. Despite everything going on behind them, they kept their cool, raced to the finish, and if only the safety car came in 1 lap early.
Yeah, if only indeed. I am going to have a look and see if there's anybody potentially waiting for an interview. I'm going to have a look in the chat first and see what people have been saying. Nam saying, oh, he's back to school. That is why Nam has been doing, well, probably one of his worst races, I think, in WOR. Krypton saying that should elevate the driving standard. Don't blame him for putting that comment, to be honest. But if we can, shall we try and get our top 3 in? I don't think they want an interview after that, but still.
Yeah, I think Nam realized he had homework to do, so he did that and race at the same time, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. Focus on one thing. However, though, he could have been doing homework if he put it on pole position. Bit of shade thrown there, but still, yeah. Pole position, remember, and he ended up DNFing out of this race, and I think that just saves volumes, potentially, in terms of the race here tonight. I'm just having a look through. I will put a message in now, unless you want to do it, Logan. See if the top 3 are available for interviews while I go through the calendar. I hope I've got the right calendar up. I have indeed. Thank goodness for that. Thought I had the wrong calendar up. Luckily for everyone, we've only got 1 more weeks of racing left here in Australia. My chair, by the way, is very, very warm at this stage, and it's a lot of sweat has been dripping off me the last an hour and a half or so. Australia, though, for round 4 of the championship, September the 2nd. Great Britain for round number 5. Of course, we've got a break week in between that. Hopefully, that break week is going to be used to get a bit of good driving standards going. Australia, of course, next week, though. Logan, Aiden should be back in the commentary box next week. But in Australia, what do the drivers have to look forward to? Because, of course, it is a changed layout compared to when we last raced here.
Yes, it has. Let me just get the calendar up as well. Yes, Australia has had a change. You know that chicane they used to have? They've removed that, and now the back of the course is flat out completely, and it's going to provide some excellent racing. We hope, because it will go right into the chicane leading to the DRS zone. Well, it's a chicane, but it's a swooping left-right. And that should be something to behold. And then we'll be off to Britain, then off to Belgium. Actually, we'll have a break week after Australia, so that'll be something. We'll have our second place man in our commentary booth for some reason. What are you doing here? Oh, wait, he's getting interviewed.
Yeah, I brought him in. He said he wanted an interview. I'm bringing him in. It is, of course, Mr. VSR Jensen. And Jensen, can I say you were back to form tonight in what was a very, very bad race in terms of driving standards?
Yeah, there was a lot going on there. Of course, I was probably one from myself into turn 1, but it didn't really, like, going off the start, I didn't expect everyone to brake so early, and I went, instead of going into the back of Rowan, I decided to go into the side of Ascomia, because that would have caused a bit less to happen, which, sorry to him about. I don't think he got damage, hopefully, but I did in the end. That explains the... And yeah, it was quite a good first lap, and I managed to get up to third. And yeah, the mediums were timed perfectly. I managed to get the undercut on Nam and Frankie and all that. But yeah, it was a bit unlucky that the final safety car come out, because I was eyeing up, tried to get a move on Rowan, but yeah, it was a bit annoying there. I tried on the final lap, but I lost. Like, I had a big moment on the exit coming out of the chicane section, which maybe could have cost me probably a tenth or so. It would have been close, but in the end, Rowan deserved it. Pretty much there. He didn't get into any instance there, but I'm glad I recovered it from the start I had into P2 in the end. But I don't know if Ascomia report me or not for that, but at the moment it's P2, which we're really happy with no practice, like absolutely zero practice really coming into this race, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Take the inspiration, by the way, everyone in the chat. This man only showed up 10 minutes before the end of the race and did absolutely zero practice and got himself a P2 out on track tonight. And I think it's an absolutely phenomenal performance. Talk us through, though, that soft compound tyre stint, because we were honestly thinking, what I was thinking, honestly, what on earth are you doing? And then it turned out to be an absolute stroke of genius.
Oh, I had to think of something, so I knew I had the damage, and I needed to get the damage gone out of the way. I knew people would probably stay out under the safety car to keep track position on the hards and just carry the stint onto the mediums. But I chose to go to the softs because I knew the softs would go to the mediums at least, the earliest amount. And luckily enough, everyone on the hards stayed out. So I didn't have people managing to get a pit stop on me and jumping me in the pits. In the end, I don't think I actually lost out anything at all by pitting. So, with the damage didn't cost me anything in the pits. But yeah, if I didn't do that, I'd probably be in the mix of it. Probably would have been taken out or something like that. Given that you were on about the driving standards, I saw little bits and pieces of it behind me. But yeah, overall, you can't really be disappointed of that. Or can't really be disappointed in myself in that race.
Yeah, definitely so. Logan, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, about you and Rowan. Of course, we have about 12 rounds to go now in the championship. We've got 15 races, sorry, in all. So it's going to be one heck of a match, one heck of a season. What's your plans going forward? You now have an 11-point deficit between you and Rowan. What's the plan going to go forward?
Of course, Bahrain was a bit of a big gap that kind of been made there. I don't think it's. I'm gonna look at it one race at a time. Like I know Rowan, he's like an incredibly quick driver, and we've had our fair share of battles like in WOR and also in other leagues as well, like PSGL and all that. But yeah, I know how he'll drive and that. But looking at, I just have to try and keep the consistency up because, of course, if I did what I was doing for the last few weeks and just bottling and all that, it's not going to be anywhere for me in the championship. But I think I'm looking the most comfortable I've been for a while. Like that's 3 second place finishes in a leagues in a row, so that's pretty good confidence I've got right now. So we see. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and it seems like you're. Go on, Logan. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, ask you the final question. Obviously you seem like you're hitting form now with 3 second places, obviously in a row. Going into Australia, how do you think you're gonna carry that form forward?
Australia is one of my favourite tracks on this game. Like the new layout, I'm in love with it. Like it's so clear, horrendously clear of like the old Australia layout. So, I mean SRC was good. I had good pace there. Of course, I'm going to try and improve the setup maybe and try and get something better. But of course, overall, I should be in a good place. But of course, you have like Asakome and Michi and all that. Like they're going to be right there as well. I mean, they've just had the fair share of no luck in the recent races. So, I mean, you'll see them up there. But of course, got to focus on trying to beat Rowan, which is not going to be an easy task, but we'll see.
It's not going to be an easy task indeed, but hopefully you are capable, and I know you're capable, to try and bring the fight to your fellow VSR teammate, and hopefully it's going to be a good result next week, of course, in Australia. You can go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thank you. And also Rowan only had like 1 practice session as well today, and he was 6, so that was a 1-2, both of us having a handicap. So, yeah, that's pretty sick.
They make them differently in VSR. That's what I think we can definitely say as a result of tonight. But go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, cheers for the comms, lads.
You are you're very welcome indeed. And that is an interview with our, of course, Season 12 champion, Mr. VSR Jensen. Season 13, currently in 2nd position, of course. And he's got, I think, an 11-point disadvantage over Rowan, obviously, to try and peg back, of course. And as we allude to, we are back, of course, next week in Australia. And we've already alluded to it, Logan. It is one of those tracks where drivers, it's a bit like Nutella. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, of course. Australia, some people just think this is an absolutely horrendous track for them. Some people master it, practice it every day, and it pays big time for them. But I quite like this track. It has provided some action, but preferably I'd rather go back to Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide was a really good track. I mean, David Coulthard crashing in the pit lane. Yeah, bring it back. Just bring it back. David Coulthard crashing in the pit lane. That's all I can remember from Adelaide. And I wasn't even born, I think, when they last held the Grand Prix in Adelaide. And that's how old I actually am. You can probably guess for yourselves in the chat. But that is it for tonight. Go on.
I think we said that earlier. No, we didn't. I was Austrian. Yeah, that is it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. We do apologise about some of the poor driving standards tonight, but you know that we can't have any control over that. It's down to the drivers to provide us with the action, and we just want to apologise again for that because we are only given so much. Of course, we only
Yeah.
All we see is the action. We don't see everything that happens behind it. Like, we don't see the driver's emotions. We just see them driving on track. We see the Discord chat. We see the chat on the YouTube of the fans. That's it. That's all we got to work with, of course.
Yeah, Luke saying as well, better late than never. You have missed everything, Mr. Etheridge. You have missed absolutely everything in terms of the chat. Maybe don't go and watch this race back from what Logan's just said, to be honest there. But yeah, that is it for tonight. Hopefully better driving standards, of course, in Australia next week. We are, of course, going down under where the men go and women plunder. So we will see you down under next week in Australia. But until then, a final word from our sponsors, Grid Finder. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.
Night.